Deep in the Amazon basin, where the Rio Negro meets ancient tributaries, Brazilian authorities have documented encounters with something that challenges every biological law. Official reports describe a creature that walks upright, like a man, yet possesses the primitive features of a caiman. The indigenous people speak of it in whispers, calling it El Hombre Caiman. What emerges from these classified files suggests that evolution may have taken a path that science refuses to acknowledge. Before we dive deeper, subscribe to follow our quest for answers. It was late October. It was late of São Gabriel de Cachoeira, deep in the Brazilian Amazon. The settlement of barely 3,000 souls sits where the Rio Negro winds through dense jungle, a place where the modern world feels like a distant memory. Federal police officer Maria Santos had arrived to investigate reports that local authorities deemed too disturbing to handle alone. The case began 3 weeks earlier when fisherman João Mendes failed to return from his daily route along the tributary channels. His wooden canoe was found drifting empty near the village, its contents untouched, but strange claw marks gouged deep into the hull. The scratches were unlike anything the local wildlife expert could identify, too large for jaguars, too precise for caimans. Santos discovered that Mendes was the third person to vanish in 2 months. Each disappearance followed the same pattern. Experienced locals who knew the waterways intimately, their boats found abandoned with identical claw marks. The indigenous Yanomami elders refused to speak of the incidents, offering only cryptic warnings about something they called the River Walker. The breakthrough came when Santos interviewed Helena Vargas, a visiting marine biologist who had been studying caiman populations in the region. Vargas described an encounter that defied every principle of her scientific training. While collecting samples near dawn, she witnessed a figure emerge from the muddy riverbank, approximately 200 meters downstream. The creature stood upright on 2 legs, reaching an estimated height of 7 feet. Its torso displayed human-like proportions, but the skin appeared scaled and dark green, glistening with moisture. The head was elongated, featuring a pronounced snout filled with rows of sharp teeth. Most disturbing were the eyes, which Vargas described as possessing an intelligence that seemed almost human. The entity moved with a peculiar gait, its powerful legs propelling it forward while maintaining perfect balance. Webbed hands ended in curved claws that left deep impressions in the soft earth. For several minutes, the creature appeared to be hunting, its head turning systematically as if tracking scent or sound. Santos documented Vargas's account with growing unease. The biologist was a respected researcher with no history of fabrication or mental instability. Her description matched disturbing details found in older police reports that had been dismissed as folklore. The creature's behavior suggested predatory intelligence combined with physical capabilities that surpassed normal human limitations. Further investigation revealed that the Yanomami tribe possessed detailed knowledge of the creature spanning generations. Tribal historian Carlos Macés, after extensive persuasion, shared fragments of oral tradition describing the Hombre Caiman as a guardian of the deep waters. According to these accounts, the entity emerged during times of ecological disruption, targeting those who violated ancient territorial boundaries. The mystery deepened when Santos discovered a series of cave paintings in limestone formations along the Rio Negro. The petroglyphs depicted bipedal figures with reptilian features engaged in what appeared to be ritualistic activities. Carbon dating placed the artwork at over 800 years old, suggesting that encounters with such creatures predated European colonization. Local shaman Vicente Texar provided the most unsettling testimony. He claimed that his grandfather had witnessed the creature's transformation abilities, describing how it could remain submerged for hours before emerging to hunt. The entity allegedly possessed the capacity to mimic human voices, luring victims into isolated areas where escape became impossible. Santos's investigation took a darker turn when she examined the missing person's belongings. Personal items belonging to the vanished fisherman were found arranged in geometric patterns on small islands throughout the tributary system. The objects appeared deliberately placed, suggesting intelligence and purpose behind the disappearances rather than random predation. The case attracted attention from federal wildlife authorities, who dispatched a team to capture or document the creature. A cryptozoologist from the University of Sao Paulo arrived with specialized equipment designed to track large aquatic predators. His findings contradicted conventional understanding of Amazonian wildlife. Silva's team discovered tracks in the riverbank mud that measured 30 centimeters in length, showing clear evidence of both human and reptilian characteristics. The footprints displayed 5 distinct toes connected by webbing, with claw marks extending beyond each digit. Plaster casts revealed details that suggested a creature weighing approximately 150 kilograms. Thermal imaging equipment detected heat signatures moving through the water at depths exceeding 10 meters. The readings indicated a creature capable of sustained underwater movement at speeds that defied known aquatic adaptation. Most puzzling was the entity's apparent ability to regulate its body temperature, alternating between cold-blooded and warm-blooded characteristics. The investigation reached its climax when Silva's team captured footage using underwater cameras positioned throughout the tributary system. The video showed a massive figure gliding through murky water with serpentine grace. Enhanced analysis revealed details that challenged every biological classification: arms ending in webbed claws, legs adapted for both terrestrial and aquatic locomotion, and a head that combined human skull structure with reptilian features. The creature's behavior demonstrated problem-solving abilities that suggested higher cognitive function. It systematically avoided camera positions, approached from blind angles, and displayed what appeared to be tactical thinking. The entity seemed aware of human observation and actively countered surveillance efforts. Government response to the footage remains classified, but leaked documents suggest that federal authorities established a restricted zone around the area. Indigenous communities received instructions to report any unusual activity while avoiding direct confrontation with the creature. The official explanation cited environmental protection concerns, but internal memos referenced containment protocols. Dr. Silva's final report, obtained through Freedom of Information requests, described the Hombre Caiman as a previously unknown species that represented a unique evolutionary adaptation. The creature appeared to be semi-aquatic, highly intelligent, and potentially territorial. Silva recommended continued observation while maintaining strict safety protocols for local populations. The case took an unexpected turn when ancient Portuguese colonial records surfaced in Brazilian archives. Documents from 1673 described encounters with river demons that matched contemporary descriptions of the Hombre Caiman. Jesuit missionaries reported similar creatures throughout the Amazon basin, suggesting a population that had survived contact with European colonization. Recent satellite imagery of the region reveals unusual thermal patterns in areas where sightings have occurred. The heat signatures form geometric arrangements that appear too organized to be natural phenomena. Some researchers theorize that the creatures may be more numerous than initially believed, possibly existing in family groups or organized communities. The investigation officially concluded in 1998, with 3 missing persons cases remaining unsolved. Officer Santos transferred to another district, citing personal reasons, but colleagues reported that she continued researching similar cases throughout the Amazon region. Her final report recommended establishing permanent monitoring stations in areas where encounters had been documented. The Hombre Caiman represents one of the most compelling cryptid cases in South American documentation. Unlike many creature sightings that rely on single witness accounts, this case involves multiple trained observers, physical evidence, and corroborating historical records. The creature's apparent intelligence and territorial behavior suggest adaptation levels that challenge conventional understanding of evolutionary development. Federal authorities maintain that the case remains open pending further evidence. However, restricted access to the area and classified status of recent findings indicate that official investigation continues beyond public knowledge. The indigenous communities continue to report occasional sightings, always describing the same bipedal reptilian figure that emerges from the dark waters of the Rio Negro. What do you think happened to those missing fishermen along the Rio Negro? Could an unknown species really have evolved to bridge the gap between human and reptile? Subscribe to explore more cases where the impossible becomes disturbingly real.